The Mojave is quiet, but it is not at peace. Cold air still clings to the gravel, and twisted Joshua trees stand motionless across the plain. Nothing appears to move, yet beneath the ground, a giant kangaroo rat hears something approaching. Beside a dry wash, a western diamondback tightens its coils. Farther away, a mountain lion follows a trail left by an animal it has not yet seen. The desert is already hunting. Soon the first heat will rise through the stone. Shadows will contract, burrows will close. Every animal still exposed will be forced to choose: find food, find shelter, or become food itself. But one hunter seems dangerously unsuited to this race. A Gila monster emerges from beneath the rock. It is heavy, slow, and incapable of chasing the prey moving around it. Venom gives it a lethal weapon, but only if it can get close enough to bite. And with every step, its body spends water and energy that may not be replaced. When the Mojave reaches its deadliest hour, which animal will outlast the furnace and become the desert's final survivor? Chapter 1. Reading the Desert. Survival begins with a signal. A giant kangaroo rat cracks a seed between its teeth. The sound is slight, but it is enough. The rodent stops chewing, cleans its whiskers, and raises its head. Enlarged middle ear chambers amplify faint, low-frequency sounds, allowing it to detect the approach of a snake or mammalian predator before either comes within striking distance. Something has moved nearby. A coyote turns toward the disturbance. Its ears angle forward while its eyes search for another sudden dash. Scent confirms that prey has passed through, but smell alone does not guide the hunt. Coyotes compare movement, sound, tracks, and wind direction in rapid succession. When the rat freezes, the coyote stops with it. Predator and prey wait for the other to make the next mistake. A western diamondback is also tracking the same warm body. Facial pits register infrared radiation, allowing the snake to locate prey even when vision provides little detail. Then another hunter enters the chain. A Gila monster advances with repeated movements of its forked tongue. Each tip samples a slightly different point, collecting chemical particles and delivering them to Jacobson's organ receptors. Rodent scent, reptile traces, and the odor of eggs can all be separated from the confusion. It cannot match the kangaroo rat's speed, but speed matters less when a trail can be followed to where prey must eventually stop. Above them, a Harris's hawk watches for exposed movement, while Gamble's quail pull their chicks closer. Every reaction becomes information for another animal. But the most important trail leads elsewhere. A ringtail has already passed through, leaving a faint line of prints before disappearing beyond the reach of the animals below. A mountain lion finds the same trail. It lowers its body and follows, but does not attack. The ringtail remains hidden. The mountain lion remains patient. Their contest has already begun, long before either animal sees the other. In this world, the first advantage belongs not to the fastest hunter or the strongest prey, but to the animal that reads the next decision before it is made. Before the surface closes. The Gila monster follows the giant kangaroo rat's scent, but the trail does not end in an attack. Ahead, a collared peccary has already uncovered food. It tears into a ripe, prickly pear fruit, consumes the largest pieces and moves on. What remains immediately draws other animals, but each arrives for a different resource. A desert tortoise reaches the remains first. Its jaws close slowly through the water-rich pulp. For the tortoise, every bite is more than food. Its bladder can store water equal to nearly 40% of its body mass, creating a reserve that can sustain an adult through prolonged periods without free water. A Harris's hawk locks onto the movement. The Gila monster raises its head and samples the rat's fresh chemical trail. One hunter can strike from above. The other must close the distance on the ground. The rat freezes. The hawk waits for the first dash. The Gila monster advances, but only briefly. The distance is too great, and the rat is already positioned to escape. It bolts. The Harris's hawk drops, but the kangaroo rat reaches its burrow before the talons close. Several seeds fall from its cheek pouches. The Gila monster makes no attempt to follow. Its thick tail already contains energy from previous meals. A Gila monster can consume approximately 35% of its body mass in a single feeding, storing surplus energy throughout its body and tail. As those reserves are depleted, the tail may change in size by roughly 20%. An animal adapted to survive on a few substantial meals gains nothing by wasting energy on an unlikely pursuit. Its urinary bladder provides another reserve. Stored water can be returned to the bloodstream during dehydration. In controlled experiments, plasma osmolality increased about 2.5 times faster when the bladder had been emptied. Turning away is not failure. It is conservation. The desert tortoise stops feeding. A desert cottontail becomes motionless. Desert bighorn sheep refuse to leave their protected position. The kangaroo rat remains underground with its seeds, while the Gila monster withdraws into an abandoned burrow. But the mountain lion has not forgotten the ringtail. It follows the smaller animal's scent until the physical cost becomes too high. Then it stops and waits. The ringtail remains concealed nearby. Neither has abandoned the contest. Both are preserving strength for the moment when movement becomes possible again. Soon the waiting will end. When the hunt resumes. The mountain lion has found the ringtail's trail, but the pursuit cannot continue. The cat lowers its body and waits. Nearby, the ringtail remains hidden, preserving the strength it may soon need to escape. But before their contest can resume, the same pressure that drove the Gila monster underground begins to silence every other hunter and prey. The Gila monster reaches its limit first. It follows the giant kangaroo rat's scent until the distance to its next shelter becomes too great. Its tongue flicks once. Then it abandons the trail and presses its body against cooler soil. The hunt ends without contact. In the hottest Mojave basins, shaded air can exceed 49 degrees Celsius. Under these conditions, movement may cost more energy and water than any meal can replace. A desert cottontail becomes motionless. The coyote tracking it stops when the rabbit disappears from view and begins to pant. A black-tailed jackrabbit lowers itself into a shallow resting place. Near 30 degrees Celsius, blood flowing through its large ears can release much of its excess metabolic heat. But as the surrounding air approaches body temperature, that advantage begins to collapse. Gambel's quail gather closely, using gular flutter to move air across moist membranes. Their heat tolerance may approach 52 degrees Celsius, but evaporative cooling rapidly consumes water. One by one, their calls cease. Even the mountain lion lowers its head. For a moment, predator and prey appear to have vanished together. Has the furnace finally broken the food web? No. It has forced every link to stop pulling against the next. The Gila monster spends more than 90% of its life underground or inside rocky shelters. Its disappearance is not a failure to survive here. It is the foundation of its survival. The same rule now governs everybody. But the shutdown cannot last forever. The Gila monster opens one eye. The giant kangaroo rat appears at the entrance of its burrow. A greater roadrunner seizes the first animal exposed, while a Harris's hawk searches for larger movement below. Then the western diamondback begins hunting again. Its facial pits register the warm body of the black-tailed jackrabbit. The snake closes the distance, but the jackrabbit's ears detect the approach before the target enters effective striking range. The jackrabbit launches forward. It can reach approximately 48 to 64 kilometers per hour in short bursts and clear nearly 6 meters in a single bound. Each abrupt change of direction widens the gap, carrying it beyond the snake's fangs. The commotion draws the coyote, but the jackrabbit accelerates before the hunter can intercept it. The mountain lion also turns toward the fleeing animal, yet it does not follow. It is waiting for a different opportunity. The ringtail finally emerges. The cat rises immediately. This is the trail it refused to forget, and now its target is moving. The ringtail does not flee toward open ground, it climbs. The mountain lion follows, forcing the pursuit away from speed, venom, and armor. From this moment, the contest will be decided by balance, grip, and the ability to control a body where a single mistake cannot be recovered. The body that defies gravity. The ringtail does not flee toward open ground. It climbs. The mountain lion accelerates behind it, crossing the flat stone in a low sprint. Its padded paws make almost no sound. By the time the ringtail turns, the larger predator is already launching into the air. The paw strikes forward. The ringtail freezes for a fraction of a second, then twists sideways. The mountain lion lands where its prey had been. The ringtail races toward the cliff and drives its claws into the rock. It weighs less than 1.4 kilograms, but its advantage is not speed or strength. It is control. The ground becomes a wall. The ringtail climbs almost vertically, using narrow holds that offer little space for the mountain lion's larger paws. Its long, banded tail swings in the opposite direction of each turn, stabilizing the body whenever its weight shifts away from the rock. The mountain lion follows. It hooks its claws into the stone and pulls itself upward. For several seconds, power closes the distance. Its forepaw reaches toward the ringtail's hindquarters, forcing the smaller animal to change direction again. The ringtail rotates its hind feet by approximately 180 degrees. Its body reverses. Instead of continuing upward, it descends headfirst across the steep face, keeping its claws pressed against the rock. The sudden maneuver carries it beneath the mountain lion's reach. The cat strikes downward. Nothing is there. Its hind paws lose height against the steep surface. The mountain lion slides backward before recovering on a lower ledge. But the ringtail cannot stop. It moves across a sequence of holes too narrow for the larger predator to use safely, forcing the pursuit toward an exposed monolith. There, the escape route ends. The ringtail reaches the outer edge and stops. Behind it, the mountain lion climbs onto the same formation. Ahead lies a gap between two stone spires. The opposite face offers only a narrow point of contact. There is no lower passage and no crevice within immediate reach. The mountain lion advances. The ringtail lowers its center of gravity. One step. The banded tail extends sideways. Another step. The mountain lion strikes upward. The ringtail jumps. For an instant, its entire body hangs between the two rock faces. Its tail sweeps outward, correcting its rotation before contact. The foreclaws catch the opposite stone. A moment later, the hind feet strike below them. All 4 points of contact engage the rock, arresting the fall and holding the ringtail against the nearly vertical face. Behind it, the mountain lion reaches the edge. But it does not follow. The gap is only part of the danger. The landing beyond it is narrow, unstable, and better suited to the smaller animal. The mountain lion has the strength to cross the distance, but not the margin required to recover from a failed grip. The cat remains motionless. Across the gap, the ringtail climbs onto the ledge and immediately reverses down the far side. Its rotating hind feet keep its body under control as it descends head first and disappears into a sanctuary crevice. The mountain lion turns away. The stronger body has lost the pursuit because its power can no longer be used safely. The ringtail has survived by forcing the contest away from open ground and onto the one surface where every difference in weight, balance, and grip favors the prey. Here, survival does not belong to the body that defeats gravity. It belongs to the body that knows how to use it. The nocturnal shift has successfully claimed the desert floor, but across the continent, another ecosystem is facing an entirely opposite existential threat. While these organisms survived the absolute limits of fire, a completely different set of biological marvels is currently freezing solid in the sub-zero valleys of the northern tundra. Click here to discover how wildlife outlasts the absolute zero.